That crack cocaine ruined the black community, but was it by design? Let's talk about it. Crack cocaine, how crack killed the black mind. Definitely. For those of you who don't know, cocaine is a brain killer. That's why they snort it up through their nose. It goes straight to your brain cells, lock in, and it kills a lot of your brain cells off. It's a deadly drug for the brain. And putting it in that crack form made it even more affordable for people, made it more convenient for people. And me personally, I just think this was all by design. Let's go into a deep history lesson, man. Let's start from the 1900s, man. For all you don't know, black people were on a rise, man, back in the day. Some of y'all might not think this is true, but go back and research your people. American people were on a rise. Most of your inventions and creations that we use today were created by Americans, aka black people, aka what they want to call us, African Americans, whatever. But American people pretty much invented everything. Your light bulb, your refrigerator, freezer, your elevators, your roller coasters. I mean, anything that you can come up with right now, it pretty probably was invented by black folks. And this was back in the early 1900s. This was when black folks was had more sense of their future and where they what type of country they were trying to forge and create. Everything was in our hands. We had our own everything. It was black Wall Streets everywhere, all over America. I mean, you had Tulsa, Harlem, Rosewood, New Orleans, Oscarville. I mean, so many. Even in your city, your local city, you be surprised. You look up in your town, your city, your history, and see the mark that black people left back in the day. We like I said, we had our own everything. Had our everything, our own schools, restaurants, festivals, carnivals, cars, farms, yeah, everything. What if we were still separated today? That's a question I really like to ask people, man. What if we were still separated today? What if that was still going? What if we still had our own stuff, our own money, our own system, our own police, our own army, our own resources, our own farms, our own everything, schools, everything. Think about that. That's something to really think about. Because in the 1960s, we were tricked into integration. We were tricked into joining or putting everything together because the government couldn't tax everything the way they wanted to. The government couldn't control everything that they wanted to in the black communities. The black communities wasn't going the way they wanted to. We were looked at as a threat because we had people, individuals that was coming up trying to push us towards being better, doing better in our communities, being activists, being active members of our community. That's what Crippin was all about. That's what being a GD was all about. So all this, all the gang stuff. It's not about the killing and the drugs. All that stuff start coming in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. This is when all that started hitting. When heroin and cocaine start hitting the urban areas of America. Disco, gangster rap, all this stuff started coming out. You know, the revolutionary black man and woman was diluted. Was pretty much the whole mentality of the black man, black woman was changed when heroin and cocaine hit the streets. Crack cocaine hit us hard. All money ain't good money. Crack hit in the 80s and has been here since. Who gave us crack? God? Nah, we know that. You know what I'm saying? This is all by design. The FBI and the CIA is the ones that bring it in, allegedly. Just put that out there. Because I ain't never seen a brother from my hood go get no coke from Cuba or Colombia, wherever you're going. Mexico, wherever. India, whatever. The government allows and knows how much drugs are exported and imported in this country. You think they don't know what's going on with the cartel? You think they don't know? Hell, your local police officers know who's selling dope. They know. They just arrest them whenever it's election time or whenever it's convenient for them. So you have to understand all this stuff that's going on is fairly new to black culture. Very new. This ain't us. That gangster lifestyle, that's not us. That's not us. That gangster shit, that thug shit, this is a lifestyle that we have adapted to based on our circumstances, based on the system that we are in. Because like I just showed y'all, from the 1900s all the way up to the 1970s, 1980s, black people were on a ride. Black people had their own stuff. Despite of what they tell you, A lot of us wasn't broke. A lot of us wasn't sitting around begging and needing for something. We had our own crops. We had our own farms. You had your own homes. Hell, my granddaddy and them, they built all their homes. They had their own crops, their own farm, their own pigs, their own cows. Yeah, it was definitely rough. It was definitely times that was hard. They went through hardship. But at the same time, it wasn't no grocery stores. It wasn't no Dollar General. It wasn't no subjugation. Well, none of that. Everybody had their own thing, and you had to provide for yourself. That's why a lot of people had so many kids, because you had to have help in them feed out there in the field, and out there, getting them hogs, getting them chickens. Everything was authentic. Everything was yours. And then when we went to the schoolhouse, the principal was black, the teachers was black, the curriculum was black. Everything we was learning was more towards black. Why do you think we had so many activists back then? Why do you think it was so many black activists in the 50s and the 60s? Because they was growing up in the 40s and the 30s. They was growing up in that time where we had our own stuff. We had our Black Wall Streets. They was getting the proper education that was going to fit our existence. They were being educated as black men and women. They weren't being educated as this indoctrination from Europeans. You know, people don't understand that Europeans control the educational system in America. So therefore, black people are not properly taught who we are and what we're capable of and where we come from. They don't even teach us about no black kings or nothing. They don't teach about nothing. So when it comes to the educational system, you have to understand that this is all put in place for us to have low self-esteem, to not look into politics, to not think that we're powerful, to not think that we can be people of power. All we think, we think we can be? Thugs, gangsters, criminals. And then when you do got a brother going to college, or you do got somebody trying to make something out of themselves, you know what I'm saying? This and that and third. You got crazy, stupid ass little guys around that call them lame, or say they ain't. They y'all acting white, y'all acting like this. It's crazy. It's always been crazy to me that when you speak educated, or when you read, or when you do certain, people say you acting white, as if black people just supposed to be dumb. That's always been crazy to me. Same way we still call ourselves nigga. Like, why are you calling me a nigga? Why are you calling yourself a nigga? Like, it come to a point in time where we have to realize and go back and study the effects of white power, the effects of crack, the effects of heroin, the effects of all the stigmas that they put on the urban communities, all of the stereotypical stigmas that are placed on black people in this country. It needs to be a study on that, because crack got a big this is a big part of it right here. How many people that were affected by crack? How many people that was locked up, addicted to it? Kids was abandoned. People were left in the streets. People dying in the streets. People homeless. People robbing stuff out, stealing out of your house, stealing from you, stealing from your family members. How many guys y'all know that's in jail right now for crack? How many people y'all know? I mean, when you speaking to the black community, I'm pretty sure you probably got a handful. I can count on my hands and toes how many crackheads I know, how many people I know that went down that road. And it's funny because that drug, when that drug hit, our parents were in their teens. I was born in '89, so my parents was, growing up in the '70s, '80s, and they was running the streets in that time. And I can remember my pops and shit telling me that back then they used to smoke Primos like it was cool. Primos was the shit, was the hot thing. And if you don't know what a Primo is when you get your blunt, put weed in it and sprinkle cocaine in there, or chop up you a little rock and put it in there. So Primo is weed and cocaine put together in a blunt, and you smoke it. And that was popular. They didn't know they was smoking, because they didn't know about it. They didn't know about cocaine. They didn't know the effects of crack. We haven't seen the effects of crack until the 2000s, until the streets are already fucked up. So there needs to be a valid, thorough study on the effects of what crack did to the urban communities, what white power, what white supremacy, what racism has done to the black communities. Because this crack shit got something to do with it. And now that we've dealt with crack for so many years, growing up in the 90s and growing up in the 2000s, that's all you see. So when y'all hear these rappers come out rapping about crack, rapping about this, that, that's what they grew up seeing. You can't blame them. They don't know no better. They don't. This is what they seen. And is it their fault? No, it's a system fault. They didn't want to see that, but this is what they grew up seeing. And us being just the real people we are, the legit people are, we gonna speak about what we going through. We gonna talk about what we going through. And just so happen, since they rapping and making money and looking cool, selling crack and moving, it became cool. You just got admit to it. Selling crack became cool. You know why? You know why it became cool? Look at all our movies. Look at all our music videos. Matter of fact, Big Meech locked up right now. Y'all can't wait till he come out. Y'all gonna show him so much respect and love. Every dope dealer get respect and love. Every dope dealer, every killer get respect and love from the black community. Why is that? Because this is what we've been adapted to accept. This is what we think this is reality. We think that a person that's coming out of our neighborhood, a black man coming out of our neighborhood and sell crack to everybody, we think he the man. He's a hustler. He getting money. We don't look at them as demons. We don't look at them as a person in our hood that's bringing bullshit in to tear the whole community up. We don't look at them like that. We respect them. That's why I say we gotta look at the effects of crack, because a lot of us is crack babies, and I think that's got a lot of the reasons why a lot of this dumb shit be going on. We're not thinking straight. Common sense is at an all-time low because of crack. Like I said, it's a lot of effects to this shit that needs to be studied, and I really feel like it was all by design, by the same system that we living in today. But crack cocaine definitely killed the black mind. And I cannot wait till crack cocaine is washed out of our communities, so this gangster shit can get on by this business and all this thug shit can get on by this business. Because that is not us. That's not us. Let's get back to glory, man. P.S.A, man. I'm out of here.